So we discussed a little bit what Kabbalah was, an introduction to Kabbalah, and we explained that the main idea of Kabbalah was really to understand how the world works, how the spiritual interacts with the physical, and how do we affect the world, how the world affects us physically and spiritually, and learning basically the system, the science behind it. So there's a lot of study. We're speaking, Avram, the first Jew, was learning, was living Kabbalah in a much more real way than most people today. So there's the whole learning part, but then there's just living it. The truth is that we are all meant to be Kabbalists. We are all meant to use our soul. The world to come is when basically we all become Kabbalists. The world to come is a place we are all spiritual. It's not reserved for the few individuals. Obviously, there's to teach it and to master it, yes, few individuals. Not everybody technically can be a prophet. It requires a lot of work. But there are many levels of being a Kabbalist, and in a way, Hasidus, which what the Hasidim, starting with the Baal Shem Tov, started, although it started in a way before, because Hasidus is an extension of, it's trying to reconnect to the prophets, the life of the prophet of the beginning, in time of David HaMelech and after. So what we're trying to do nowadays is to reconnect little by little through Hasidus, through Kabbalah. Hasidus is taking Kabbalah and breaking it down in a more day-to-day understanding. And so just today I wanted to share just a basic idea of what it is to live as a Kabbalist in a regular day. And it basically goes like that. I wake up in the morning and I realize my soul has been recharged. I realize my soul was in heaven, at least part of it, and that's why my energy is renewed. It's not just sleep, it's just like an iPhone you charge. So I'm recharged, and now my soul is in me, and while it was in heaven, sometimes we get dreams, we get visions, sometimes we get messages, but it gets infused with the energy of the day, with the message, subconscious message, so to speak, of what the day needs. And we have to listen to ourselves. So we wake up in the morning, we're renewing that energy, and the first thing we do is we go pray, because this is our mission. Why are we here? We're here to infuse the world with good. So I wake up in the morning and I activate the energy of my soul right away through my power of speech, and I go pray in the synagogue. And I don't have to be in a synagogue technically, but there's more energy there when you connect with other people, and you download energy through your prayer. You activate the download, and the world receives what it's supposed to receive. So that's the first step. Then the second step is just going where we're eating. We're going to eat breakfast, and the eating of breakfast is a whole avodah. It's a whole service of elevating the food. I'm not eating just to feed myself. Yeah, my body needs feeding, but as we learn in Shari Kedusha, the food also feeds the soul, because the spiritual element of the food gets. And so I, as a Kabbalist, I become conscious of that. When I pray, I'm conscious of what's happening. The more conscious you are about it, right? We know we have three levels of the soul. The three lower that we are mostly in touch with: nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh is your basic instinct, and what's in the blood, the energy, basic animalistic soul. Then you have the ruach, which is the more emotional power connected to the heart. Nefesh is more connected to the liver, which is more bloody, so to speak. And then the heart. And then there is the head, the neshama, which is the third level of the soul, which has to do more with thoughts. And basically, when I pray with my my physical lips, I activate my blood, and I put my emotions in my words, and I put a thought about what's happening when you pray, that your words go out and you have the intention to connect to God and to elevate the world, then you are at that moment a Kabbalist. You at that moment you activate the nefesh, the ruach, the neshama, which correspond to actually 3 worlds. Every level of the soul corresponds to a world. We'll discuss it at another time. And basically, you are activating the world and the spiritual world in a much more powerful way. So this is really, in a way, if we wanted to describe what the Kabbalist does, he uses his nefesh, his ruach and neshama, all the pieces of his soul, so to speak, the 3 main pieces we can control of. The chaya and yechida, which is the 4th and 5th level of the soul, we don't really access so often. It's more for special days like Yom Kippur or something like that. But it's a require very high level of holiness. But we connect nefesh, ruach, neshama, and we are elevating the world by using them. So we spoke about praying, right, and affecting the world through our prayer and being aware of it. Then we have eating. When we eat, you eat. You're conscious. You are making part of yourself, transforming the what you're eating. Let's say it's water, so there's minerals and in it. Or if you're eating vegetables, then you're minerals and the vegetable world. And then you have, if you eat an animal, there's minerals, vegetable and animal all included, and you make it part of you, it becomes human being. So being aware of all that means being a Kabbalist. Being aware of the process, being aware of what's happening when you eat, makes the Kabbalah of it, makes the science of it, makes the spirituality of it become real, activate. If we just serve God without any thoughts or emotion, we just do what we're supposed to do because that's what we do, then we're not really activating anything. It's there's a little bit of energy done because I'm still doing a holy action. If it's a commandment or if it's not a commandment, like eating, it's something natural. You are doing something, you're still feeding your body, but you're not really making a change in creation. That energy is in a way wasted or put aside until you can use it. Or if you pray and you don't have your emotions and your thoughts in your prayer, then that prayer is stagnates until it's eventually evaded. It's not wasted, but it doesn't affect the world. Sometimes we wonder why my prayers are not answered. Well, sometimes because we don't put our emotions, we don't put our body into it, we don't put our thoughts deeply into it, we don't imagine that it's possible in the mind. It's like the quantum physics, where we have to imagine the quantum world is the world of infinite possibility. So we have to be able to imagine that it's possible. That's why when just before we start Shmoneh Esrei, the 18 blessing, the prayer of 18 blessings, we say, Baruch Ata Hashem Goal Israel. Blessed are you, God, who saves Israel. We're speaking about Gal, a Geula, redemption, a miracle. And the idea is that yes, everything is possible. It's the same way we were able to go out of Egypt. So too we're able to go out of our limitation, and we can transcend things. So unless we believe that it's possible, it's not going to work. It's similar to the placebo effect. You have to believe it's there and it's happening. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So we spoke about sleeping, waking up in the morning, going to pray in the morning, then eating and elevating the world through eating, and then after you also become conscious. Well, we should have said that before, because when you wake up, you put your clothing. You have to know you're using those clothing. Those clothing were designed specifically for you. Oh, the reason you like this color or that type of clothing is because your soul had the desire. It's not just a physical thing. If you're in touch with your soul, then your soul is going to be in touch also with things. And the reason why you choose this color or this garment or this food is because you were meant to live in those things. Why do you like potatoes and you don't like tomatoes? Why do you like fries and you don't like chicken? Is because you have your soul has different things it needs to elevate. We all have a different soul with a different mission and different things to elevate. So you gotta recognize that. So when I put my garment and say, oh, I'm taking that garment, I'm going to use that garment. That garment is a gift from God. I'm going to use it to serve God. And by doing this, I'm elevating also the physical world, the garment, the physical part of the garment, and the spiritual part of the garment, and I'm transforming. This is what the Kabbalists do. He's constantly transforming the world by being aware and conscious of it. It's a full-time job, so to speak, full-time awareness meditation. And that's why I like to describe always the life of a Jew as a meditation life. You have to be conscious all the time, always aware to do good and not do evil. That's why I like to call Shabbat the day of meditation, where you disconnect from everything from the physical world and you meditate on where we come from, that God created the world, and you connect for 24 hours to the reality, and you're constantly aware, and that's why we don't do anything else. We focus only on God to be connected to the true source of energy of everything, and then we get energy for the whole week. So then we said we take breakfast, and then we go in the world. We go in the world and we go work. Some go study, and then it's pretty simple understanding. I mean, simple. You always go deeper, but you study, and when you learn Torah, and you are bringing the most holy type of energy in the world through your words, and saying, and you're aware that when you learn, the words go up, and it fixes things, and sends holiness down and fixes the world in ways that we can barely start imagining. And then there is those who go to work. The Ramchal very clearly says you can go work or you can go learn. You're as holy. It depends. Some people have the mission to go learn. Some people have the mission to go work. Part of the reason is because a Jew took the responsibility of Esav. Akol kol Yaakov Yudei Esav, right? So the voice is the voice of Yaakov, and the hands in the hand of Esav. Yaakov, at that moment when he tricked his father, so to speak, to take the blessing of Esav, he took the responsibility of elevating the physical world by working in it, and not just having spiritual, completely spiritual life. Which we say when Moshiach is going to come, there's going to be that split. The non-Jews are going to go back to what Esav was meant to be the partner with God, and want to work together. As the non-Jews as working with more the physical world and shaping it in a vessel ready to receive the light, and the Jews are going to be focusing on sending the light down. On a practical level, how it's going to look like, I'm not sure. We don't know exactly. They say we don't know how the days of Moshe is going to look like. We know a few things there and there, but we don't know exactly how it's going to look. But it's going to be amazing. That's the good news. So he says those who go work, they have to be aware that whatever they do, when they involve in the world, the reason they go work, first of all, is to bring money, right? Obviously, money is energy that's going to be used to do mitzvot and for your family and to elevate your family and to do things. So money is a type of energy that we earn and then we spend and use to make the world a better place, your family a better place. So you have to be aware of all that, aware that the money comes from God. That's the whole process, that the money is like the man. It comes close, it comes far, sometimes it's right, depending on our level. Then we have the moments when we are involved with people. Each person you meet is an opportunity to do a Kiddush Hashem, is an opportunity to have a relationship with another human being, is an opportunity to elevate that person. I believe, I can say 100% that I don't have a source 100%, but I believe it's true on many levels. I'm sure there's some Kabbalistic work that speaks about it, that any person you meet, you have met before. Meaning any person that you have a real interaction with, like a real exchange. You have something to finish with that person, and you have to meet that person again, whether it's a business transaction, whether it's someone who taught you in the past, and now we come back to teach him, or all different things. But speaking about work, you have an opportunity to be one with that person, to give strength to that person, to love that person, to respect that person. All those are things that elevate the world. But if you're not aware of it, you're going to do mistake. You're not going to be able to do the mission, fixing the mission that you have with that person. So we have to be aware of the thing that's living as a Kabbalist. And then we come back home, and we are with our family and with our spouse, and with family and spouse, we're aware that we are trying to work as a team to make the world a better place. A marriage, Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg Zatzal says, is we get married in order to for the benefit of the community, not just for our own personal selfish desire for love. No, we get married to come close to God, but to make the community together as a couple. We're trying to make the community a better place, and we try to educate children that hopefully are going to be better than us in order to elevate the world. And it can go every detail of life. When you try to have a children, what do you have in mind when you have a children? What's your emotions? And that's basically our whole day. So it's very hard to be always conscious and aware, a full-time Kabbalist. But we can be at least a chassid, at least a level where we chassid is someone who constantly aware of giving and doing good for others, as the Ramchal says. So we should strive to become better people, and to be constantly thinking of what we're doing. And the Kabbalah we learn together has the purpose of going deeper into how things are working, and how I can go into my everyday life and be aware of all the things that are happening. Because the more aware I am, the more I make it a reality, the more things are happening, the more power I have, the more power the world receives. So this is what I want to share with you, and I hope you're all interested and excited to live that type of life, because this is the most meaningful of life. If you understand that everything you do has meaning, everything you do has a purpose, everything you do can change the world, then you should be the happiest person in the world, and you're serving the King of Kings. So there's nothing greater than that. So I'm going to stop here, and I hope you all spend time thinking about what you're doing before you do something. And I really recommend everybody to learn the Mesilas Yesharim, the Path of the Just, which really teaches you how to do that in depth. The first chapter is Torah, and then Zeirut, awareness, and this Nikius. The whole thing is to be constantly aware of everything you do, calculating everything, because the more you're aware, more calculate, the more you have an impact. So may we all change the world together. All of you Kabbalists who are trying to become prophets, because at the end, the ultimate goal, the climax of being a Kabbalist is to be a prophet, and being able to speak to God directly, like Moshe, and to have an even bigger impact on the world, to understand even more what God wants from us, and to send the message to the world, to guide the world, to make it a better place. So looking forward to learn more with you.